Every single piece of writing you've ever published online may have been used to train an AI model without your knowledge, without your consent, and without a single penny paid to you. And the companies doing it? They're worth trillions of dollars. Let that sink in for a second. Here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. When OpenAI, Google, Meta, and other AI giants built their large language models, they needed enormous amounts of text data. We're talking about trillions of words. So they scraped the internet. Books, articles, blog posts, news stories, academic papers, Reddit threads, personal websites, GitHub repositories with your code, even private fan fiction archives. All of it. A dataset called Common Crawl, which these companies heavily relied on, contains over 3.4 billion web pages collected since 2008. That is essentially a snapshot of the entire public internet, and it fed directly into models like GPT-4, Claude, Gemini, and Llama. In 2023, a landmark lawsuit changed everything. Authors including Sarah Silverman, Paul Tremblay, and Mona Awad sued OpenAI, claiming their copyrighted books were used without permission. The evidence was damning. Researchers found that if you asked ChatGPT to reproduce passages from certain books, it could do it almost word for word. That's not a coincidence. That's memorization. The New York Times took it even further in December 2023, suing OpenAI and Microsoft for billions of dollars, arguing that millions of their articles were used to create a product that now directly competes with their journalism business. A federal judge allowed the case to move forward in 2024, which is a huge deal legally. Getty Images sued Stability AI for scraping 12 million photographs from their library to train image generation models. Getty had watermarks on those images, and you could actually see ghost watermarks appearing in AI-generated images. That is literal, documented evidence of copying. The legal defense these companies use is something called fair use. They argue that training an AI is transformative, similar to how a human reads books to learn. But here's the critical difference. When a human reads your book, they don't create a competing product that can replicate your exact writing style at zero marginal cost and sell it to millions of people. The European Union moved first with real regulation. The EU AI Act, which came into force in 2024, now requires AI companies to disclose what copyrighted material was used in training. That's a massive shift. In Japan, there was a 2023 government ruling that actually said training AI on copyrighted works does not violate copyright law, which outraged creators globally. Meanwhile, in the United States, the Copyright Office published a report in 2024 stating that using copyrighted works for AI training likely does require licensing. That's a direct contradiction to what the tech companies have been arguing for years. Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and DALL-E trained on billions of images from artists who never agreed to any of this. Artists like Greg Rutkowski found that their name was one of the most used prompts in AI image generators, meaning the AI had so thoroughly learned his style that users were generating thousands of fake artworks in his name daily. His real commissions dropped significantly. So what can you actually do right now? First, you can opt out. Google has a robots TXT protocol that lets website owners block certain crawlers. OpenAI introduced an opt-out tool in 2023 for future training data, though it doesn't undo past scraping. Second, if you're a creator, watermark everything digitally. Tools like Glaze developed by the University of Chicago specifically disrupt AI-style mimicry by adding imperceptible pixel changes to your artwork. Third, support the legal battles. The outcomes of the New York Times versus OpenAI case could set precedent that reshapes the entire AI industry. The fundamental question being decided right now, in courtrooms that most people aren't watching, is whether the most valuable technology ever built was constructed on a foundation of theft. And the answer matters for every single person who has ever created anything online.